She's gone!
No, she's not! Hello, everyone. Hazu here. And hang on, time out. Before you take your pitchforks to the comment section, please listen to what I have to say. Trust me, I got a good argument here. With the new episodes of Steven Universe being released this month, I figured I'd make this video while the hype is going around. What I'm about to say is not my word against the Crooniverts, it's their actions against their own. Let me explain. Obvious Steven Universe and Steven Universe the movie spoilers, so if you don't want to be spoiled, this video is not for you. Now, I've explained this to many people before, but I thought transforming it into video format would make it easier to understand where I'm coming from. So, Pink Diamond, aka Rose Quartz, is not gone. She is still part of Steven's gem. And here is my proof. Exhibit A. Gems have layers. In a single pale rose, we witness a plethora of pearls within our pearl's gem. Alternate characterizations, depictions, and manifestations of who she was in her past. We can assume this is the structure of all gemstones from seeing garnet and amethyst's reformation process as well. Pearl is able to transfer Steven further and further into her gem, inflicting an inception that allows him to reach her core origins and witness the secret she could tell no one. From this episode, we can infer a gem acts like a USB with many subfolders within it. Each folder contains data of the gem's memory and form at the time of its poofing. The pearl we first meet claims she is surface, and the other forms have to be put away. She is surface, the updated pearl, and therefore she is in charge. However, the original pearl, deep in her subconscious, was able to interact and steal an object Surface Pearl had in her collection and use it to interact with the outside world. With what I'm about to say, let it be known that Pink Steven is not Pink Diamond. Steven is not his mother. He merely shares his gem with her.
I'm going to become half of you. And I need you to know that every moment you love being yourself. That's me, loving you and loving being you.
We can infer that in Steven's case, Pink Steven is surface, and the Rose Quartz and Pink Diamond are put away. They are in the subconscious. But as we've seen with Original Pearl, they can see everything Steven sees.
Sometimes I wonder if she can see me through your eyes. What would she think of me now?
Whether or not they are fully conscious of the situation and its weight is unclear, since some of the pearls didn't seem very attuned to the present. However, it still doesn't change the fact that this means Pink Diamond / Rose Quartz can interact with Steven despite being put away. Pink showed him a vision of her deep memory, with Blue and Yellow Diamond talking down to her. She shows that the key to learning the mystery behind Pink Diamond is Pearl. If Pink Diamond had not reached out to him, Steven may have never known. She even reached out to him further as Stevani on the abandoned moon base, where we first see her form reflected on shattered glass, and an entire dream sequence that parallels Connie's mother to Yellow Diamond. There's a possibility on Homeworld she continues to show him parallels to her past, how the diamonds have not changed even after all this time. She showed him how she suffered, giving Steven the opportunity to approach the situation with different responses.
I know. I'm sorry. No.
Steven!
What? I'm not sorry.
However, it can be argued that at this point in time, it was actually White Diamond manipulating Steven's mind with these memories. But whether White or Pink were doing so, it doesn't change the fact that Pink Diamond's memories are stored in the gem and still accessible, since a multitude of scenes we saw were shown when White wasn't around. So her memories, her data, is not gone. It is still accessible to both Steven and White Diamond. Unfortunately, however, it appears that all flashbacks involving his mother after the encounter with White seem to cease, which feels like a retcon considering the past two visions when White was not involved. It's also questionable whether or not Steven's mom has a connection to the room as well.
I just want to know the truth.
For Pearl states the room should not have the power and capacity to the level Steven pushed of it. At first, Greg's replica is the only one that seemed real to Steven, but over time his sentences became repetitive. The illusions created in the room always wished to do as Steven pleased. Even when the real Connie was in the room with Steven, the fake Connie was acting weird, constantly asking Steven what to do, until he made it go haywire. So even with a real being to copy in its midst, the room still cannot complete this request perfectly. Rose Quartz, however, stayed together the entire time. When Steven accuses the Rose Quartz illusion of making him to run from her problems, the illusion rejects him instead of agreeing with him like all the others did. She tells him he knows that's not true and asks him if he thought what she said was a lie. It's extremely suspicious that Rose Quartz was so in character and even interacted with Steven to a degree where none other has. It makes me wonder if she can connect to him through this room.
Don't you realize we've been together this whole time?
It's almost like this was actually his mother. But considering we have very little examples or exploration of this room and how it works, we can only theorize and never confirm this. But I felt it was still worth mentioning. Exhibit B, the Rejuvenator. Before this Steven Universe movie, I could safely nod that Pink was no longer accessible. She wasn't gone, per se, but she certainly couldn't come back because Steven was surface. She's old code now. She would never be able to come back because of it. However, the Crooniverse reversed this idea with the introduction of the Rejuvenator. The Rejuvenator changes everything. In the words of Bismuth, this weapon was used as a factory reset. It wipes all top forms of data and restores the gem to its original purpose and form. When Steven's gem was pulled out of White Diamond, we are deliberately shown Pink Diamond and Rose Quartz. Therefore, when Steven is hit by the Rejuvenator, his gem should have reverted back to Pink Diamond. If this were the case, Spinell's plan would have been competent and just. I was absolutely convinced she deliberately stole the Rejuvenator to reset Steven's gem so she could get revenge directly upon Pink Diamond. Instead, she states,
"You know, I came here to take my anger out on a bunch of strangers."
Which didn't make any sense. Spinell knew how to operate the Rejuvenator and a massive poison drill. She knew what she was doing. To make her play dumb when it came to resetting Steven's gem was anticlimactic, anti-productive towards her goal, and frankly, a retconned plot hole.
Your human half won't stand a chance against my injector. Not after what I just did to your gem.
Why would she reset their gems when she could just kill them? She was doing so with the drill anyway. These actions are what slowed the movie down and wasted everyone's time, re-witnessing all character development that was lovingly shown to us the past decade, just with a small twist, all crammed into a 1-hour movie that felt more like a rushed Steven bomb. Unfortunately, the movie plays it off like Steven's gem was affected differently.
My human half kept me from poofing, but my gem half, it took the hit. She sent me back. It's like I'm a kid again. I can barely control my powers.
He states his gem was reverted back to when he was 14 and just started to use his powers. Yet, he looks sick and dying, like he did when he and his gem were unfused. Sure, back then, Steven exhausted himself by using too much of his powers, but to see him with those bags under his eyes brings up my suspicions. To further prove this point, when Pink Steven forms, it's shown that the gem retains the data forms of both Pink Diamond and Rose Quartz. If the Crooniverse wanted to reiterate that she was truly gone, they should not have shown those forms. It should have just immediately reverted to Steven to show Pink Diamond was completely deleted. Only then would there truly be no trace of her, and this video would not have existed. For the sake of explaining why having his gem revert to Pink Diamond was a better idea, let's dive into what the movie says happened instead. Spinel strikes Steven, meaning his gem has now reverted to its first form, but it's not Pink Diamond or Rose Quartz. It's shown it's indeed Pink Steven still in charge of the gem because Steven was able to fuse with Greg. Had Pink been in charge, this couldn't have happened. It just doesn't make sense. Steven should not have been able to fuse with Greg. So Pink Steven is surface, but it's been reverted to before he could use his powers very well. So some could argue the rejuvenator with every slash de-aged Pink Steven about a year, taking 4 or 5 years away. However, the rejuvenator should take a gem's form back to its very first form, not every year. Let it be known that the first time Steven's gem glowed, when he unknowingly called upon his powers, was when he was a baby. Pink Steven grew with Steven. So from what the movie is telling me, Steven's first form would have been when he was that of an infant, which, considering this, would have had a far more profound effect on Steven than simply he can't use his powers very well. That's just not how the rejuvenator works for a gem. It's simply too confusing with how they set it up. It just frankly would have made more sense to simply have Pink Diamond come back for the sake of her own character development. We could see her face Spinel herself, save her son, her friends, and the Earth in the process. And none of them would even have to know. Pink could be brought back without causing problems to the story or the character development. And because we know Steven can't live without his gem, Pink, after looking around, would remember the Earth and revert to Rose Quartz, and upon seeing her son, would finally give up her form all over again for him. For Pink Steven to become surface, for Steven to be whole again, for him to live again. This would have been a much larger and climactic ending to the movie, one that would make things far more interesting. With all of this in mind, I'd like to take you back to the Crystal Gem's personal theories back in 3 Gems and a Baby. Each one of them had a theory. Rose Quartz had shapeshifted into a baby, Steven is a fusion, and Pink Diamond is trapped. All 3 are correct. Pink Diamond is not gone. With what the Crooniverse set up, especially in the movie, it just doesn't make sense. It's their actions against their own words. Now, despite my beliefs, despite these suspicious errors and plot holes in the story that I have pointed out, Pink Diamond is not coming back. Simply because the Crooniverse is so insistent about it. I can understand where they are coming from, however. If Pink Diamond came back, Steven's arc about being his own person would not have come to fruition. If Pink Diamond came back, all Crystal Gem character development would revert back to what it was, forcing them to either A, all become dependent on her again, or B, cause massive drama and distrust in the group, making it feel as though it'd be better if she never came back at all. If Pink Diamond came back, the Diamonds would perchance go back to their evil, manipulative ways. They wouldn't give a damn about Steven or his precious planet Earth. If Pink Diamond came back, it'd be a cheap cop-out, like so many other TV series and comics have done when it came to resurrecting characters just for the hell of it. Her death would be meaningless to people. Some fans like the idea of a show that truly finalizes a character's existence. There are no takebacks with death. Normally, I'd agree with this, but Lars and Lion were takebacks, and gems are immortal. So I find it surprising that some people don't allow me to theorize of Pink Diamond's conscious even simply existing within the deep enthralls of Steven's gem. Pink Diamond, despite my headcanon of her not being gone, simply won't come back to the show because of these reasons. Now, I respect and love the Crewniverse for what they do, and I understand all these reasons. But as mentioned, the movie was a massive missed opportunity. The fandom's opinion of Pink Diamond was warped into seeing her as the enemy. Some people even consider her the true villain of the series. This was the only moment they could appropriately have brought Pink Diamond back. It's just Steven and Spinel up there. And upon being separated from his gem and so weak and tired, Steven could be delirious. He could just pass out or think it was all a dream. He wouldn't lose his character development. This was an opportunity to set in stone that Pink Diamond had truly found a way to grow up. This was a way to redeem her character. She could have dealt with Spinel herself, told her the truth, and in the end, once more, giving up her form for Steven, because it's the only good thing she had done in her own eyes. Disappear. So, needless to say, the movie was disappointing. And something that needs to be said, Pink Diamond is not gone. She's just put away. Even if the Crewniverse denies me, the way they wrote the story makes me interpret it this way. I feel better knowing Pink Diamond has seen the error of her ways through Steven's eyes. I like to think she grew up with him in a way, that he inspired her. I like to know that. I like confirmation that truly she made him so he could be him. She wanted a child because it was the biggest life-changing decision she could ever make. That she made Steven so she could love him from the inside like she had told him. Just thinking of this, it makes Steven Universe so much more magical and enjoyable for me. To see people demonize Pink Diamond when the real demons are sitting right there, redeemed, is just something I really can't stay silent about. Anyhow, Pink Diamond is not gone. But even if the show says so, I don't think it's ruined anything for me. I'm very excited and intrigued to see where these new episodes will take us, especially with Jasper's return. But we'll see. Well, that's all I really have to say for now. I don't know how much more will be revealed of Pink Diamond or Rose Quartz in Steven Universe future, but we shall see. Perhaps I'll need to update this video later if anything juicy happens. But for now, this video is now concluded. Thanks for sticking around to the end. You know what to do, and have a great day.
I have a Christmas sock over my microphone right now because I don't have a protective guard for it yet, so... Adapt, overcome, be innovative, people. You can do it. Believe in yourself. I'd rather be free, free, free. I'd rather be free, free. this discord.